Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. Now I've started it here because this is showing a problem that affects, well, my version of this game and quite a few others. You notice that the picture was cut off at the top and towards the bottom. It happens a hell of a lot with this. So this is Overkill, which was released by, I can't remember who. I'll double check that when I upload this, in 1993, and this music oh fuck, I just listened to this. It's bad enough the lead doesn't fit, but it then just stops. but it gets worse, so I'll let it carry on a bit more. Because it sounds like it's just started again, but the solo's now different. And it's just shit! Whoever the fuck did this music does not know the first fucking thing about like rock or metal or whatever it's supposed to fucking be. I would go so far as to say the music in this is worse than the music in Ganymede when it goes over the top and all the drumming gets fucked up. Anyway, let's get a game underway. So, yes, this was released in 1993. It was released in two different versions. There was the AGA version and the CD32 version. This is the AGA version for the Amiga 1200, and once we've been dropped off, right, I'm now going to pause it because you may be able to see a problem. In fact, you certainly will be able to see a problem unless there's something wrong with you. The image at the top is completely cut off, but not only that, the whole screen is slightly to the left hand side. So where it would say shield, spelt wrong, they spelled it S-H-E-I-L-D, all you can actually see on the screen is EILD. Now obviously, okay, you can still see your score. There is supposed to be something there to the left hand side of it, but you know it's your score. The real problem is right up in the top left corner. You can just see what looks like a yellow square. Now that's actually a yellow bar, which indicates how much of the particular power-up you've got, how much of it is left, because you only have a limited number of shots with each power-up. You have to then keep recharging it, otherwise you just go back to the regular default weapon. And next to that yellow bar, in what should be an octagon, it should show you what that power up is. Again, that's been cut off and you can't see it. You can also say can't see because most of the yellow bar's missing. You can only see like the last few seconds before, or the last few shots before your power up runs out. So having that this screen this size really doesn't help. It doesn't end there. At the bottom, it is completely cut off. You're supposed to be seeing all these sort of diamonds along the bottom, which have to be destroyed by these people who bail out in these parachutes. Once they have destroyed the particular diamond or crystal or whatever, they then shout out for you to pick them up and then drop them off again somewhere where there's another one of those diamonds for them to destroy. And of course you can't see any of that because it's all cut off at the bottom. Same with when you lose a life, your ship crashes to the crashes to the ground, and you would normally be able to see your pilot getting out of the ship, running for his life just before it explodes. Now, I had this problem back in the day with this game as well, because this is a game I had back in the day. And yeah, there was fuck all I could do about it. I can only assume if you run it in NTSC mode, it might fix it. I don't know for sure. But the bottom line is, I mean, well, if you're playing it on a PAL Amiga, the screen's just too big. It can't fit all on your actual screen. It's cut off at the top and bottom, and it's slightly to the left hand side, so it's cut off in that direction as well, which is, to put it mildly, a pain in the arse, but we'll persevere. So I'm far from the only person who has this problem. I've only seen a couple of videos on YouTube from people who have not had that problem. So all the parachute people have been dropped. So we now make our way, and you can very clearly see that, grab that power up. So I grabbed these people here, but yeah, I'll just get through. Oh, fucking hell, that was close. Too fucking close. Right, now shut up. Right, so we've got, anyway, yeah, you can clearly see that this is a Defender clone. So we got through that first level, onto the next, which looks very much the same. You can now see that I don't have very many shots with this particular power-up. Yep, I'm now back to the regular weapon, and I've hit the enemy. So yeah, you would have seen the bloke run out of the ship, but it's all been cut off. Now, if you decide to just hold down the fire button, you will, like, you know, keep repeatedly firing. But with this regular weapon, it's not very fast. With the power-ups, your firing rate does speed up a bit. So we'll now try and deal with all these fuckers. So there aren't a huge number of enemies per level. Right, grab this one. Well, at least not in the beginning there aren't, but yeah, as you get through various waves, the number of enemies and variety of enemies starts to really mount up. I think, yeah, that last one there is the last of that level. So, on to here. So this is the third planet of this particular wave. Destroy this and we go into the next planet. So, I mean, I submit that this is a game that did get quite a lot of fanfare when it was released, and I really can't see why. It's not that it's a bad game or anything like that, but there's nothing here that's particularly, you know, outstanding, at least not to me. Fucking hell, I flew right into that fucking shot, which was barely moving. What a fucking pleb. I mean, yeah, despite all the fanfare and everything else, the bottom line is, it is a Defender clone. It's not like there weren't any other Defender clones for the Amiga. I already had one, which I was quite a fan of. Fucking hell, these fuckers take several hits to destroy. Yeah. I've got a really shitty weapon for doing it as well. So I don't rate my chances of getting off this level on this particular go. That's one. Okay, I didn't see what hit me there. I think that is game over. Yes, it is. What a shame. So, I mean, you can see there how everything's to one side because you've got that bar there on the side, making it rather obvious that all is not well as far as the positioning of the screen here. So, right, let's we'll have to wait for it to reload the whole of that. Thankfully, the music does not reload. Fucking hell. Right, so let's grab another go. See how we do here. As you can see with this like get ready screen here, the background graphics, which are purely there to show off that this is an AGA title, they're all randomly chosen. It could be pretty much anything. Fucking car alarm going off, which means that it will be going off for a fucking age, because around here everyone with a fucking third party car alarm is always quite happy to leave it going for a fucking age. Oh fucking hell, I was making a right fucking meal of that. Oh, about fucking time. Right, well, I can't get off to any worse start than I did then. Fucking hell, yes I can. There we go. Right, enough of this just holding down the fire button, because it's just not getting me anywhere. Fucking, yeah. Alright, so that's level 1 done. So on to, or rather phase 1 anyway. It's 3 planets in the first phase. I think it's 3 in the second. I used to get to phase 2 all the fucking time. But yeah, I haven't played this game for quite some time. Anyway, as I think, trying to say earlier, this is essentially a Defender clone, and I had another Defender clone back in the day, namely Star Ray, which I've already reviewed, and I was quite a fan of Star Ray. In fact, I'm much more of a fan of Star Ray than I am of this. Although you can see places where this game has made use of the AGA chipset, there are so many, or rather there's so few places where you can see that they have made use of it, that it makes you wonder, why is this an AGA title? AGA only. Okay, it's AGA or CD32, but oh, for fuck's sake. But then CD32 was an AGA Amiga as well. But I mean, alright, the actual game graphics themselves do make use of the AGA chipset, but in such a subtle way that you sort of think, what's the fucking point? I really do not see anything here that makes me think, yes, this should definitely be, you know, an AGA title. Yeah. That's not to say that it's a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game at all, but I've played much better. Right now I have my problems by flying straight into that fucking thing. Was that my last life? Yes, I think it was. I ain't gonna get onto the fucking second level, am I? Poxy fucking thing. I should be doing a lot better than this. But no, because I'm recording this go, so of course I'm gonna do shit. Right, I won one last stab, and then I'll actually start the review proper. There you can certainly see the AGA effects with the fade out there. There's none of that, like, you know, stuttery part that you got with all the other Amiga titles. The fade out is perfectly smooth. It's one of the, well, for me anyway, it's one of the easiest ways to tell if a game is an AGA title or not. But it's not like it has any sort of, like, you know, major effect on the game. I mean, the game hardly suffers from, you know, not having a nice smooth fucking fade. You know, it's no fucking big deal. So I'll just pick them up and then I'll just put them straight down again, because I just couldn't give a fuck about it. Alright, let's keep them hanging on. I don't know if you're supposed to really do that, but came in rather handy, timed that rather well. There we go. Right, so on to the next phase. I don't think I'm going to have a load of people hanging off my ship, no. Oh, fucking hell. That was fucking close. Now, I mean, compared to, you know, the actual original Defender that this is clearly a clone of, this is a lot easier to control. But it still doesn't really detract from the fact that this is just a rather simple Defender clone that's been given a bit of a makeover. Yep, got that one just in time. So on to the third one again. Let's see if I can actually get past it this time. I doubt it, but I might. I've got 4 lives with which to try. Which means I'm bound to fuck it up somewhere along the line. This is certainly working out quite nicely so far. Don't have many more shots of this power up left. Oh, I knew I'd fucked that up. Right, let's try this again. So according to the display, my ILD has gone up a bit, but I can't really see what it is. Oh, fucking hell. See, so I get to the third planet, no problem, and I just keep on fucking it up like a fucking cunt. I mean, it says it all. I keep bollocksing this up, and yet this is currently my best go. Fucking yeah. Right, can I? Yes, good. I need this for against these fuckers. Oh, you fucking cunt! So I'm down to my last fucking life, I think. Okay, I might have 1 life left after this, but I mean, yeah. Now I'm up against. Oh, fucking hell! You've got to take it so fucking slowly against these big bastard things, because they take multiple hits, and because they are so fucking huge, yeah, it's hard to miss them sometimes. Oh, fucking yeah. Oh, you fucking stupid prick! Okay, I must have got an extra life somewhere. Well, this is my last chance then, so... Right, 1 more cunt to get. There we go. At last. So we're on to the innermost ring of on the next most ring of planets. So there are 3 here. So this is essentially level 2, phase 1 of level 2. How did that ship manage to actually, you know, appear in this bloody cavern with the ceiling there? So anyway, as you can see, level 2 graphics and the various creatures, they are now creatures, they certainly look more organic. Yeah, trying to get through this one. It starts off easy enough, but yeah, they all look very different, as I now have some bombs that I can drop as well, which are quite handy. So they are appearing as a secondary weapon. Oh, fucking hell, I didn't see that until too late. Oh, I've got another extra life. Well, that's handy. Yeah, how did that thing get in, the carrier that drops me off, when I'm supposedly inside an actual, you know, inside some cavern? So yeah, can't quite figure that one out. I'm supposed to drop those people off in areas where there are crystals, but okay. Right, well that's that level done. Alright, or that phase done. Let's head to phase 2. I can't see me getting too much further than this, especially as this is my last life. Oh fucking hell, I didn't even see that cunt. Right, well there you go, I think that is definitely game over now. Yep. So, yes, well, let's it doesn't, well, I think it's supposed to save your high scores, but for some reason it doesn't on this version, so it hasn't got a lot going for it. The image is all fucked up and it doesn't save your high scores. Not that I'd really want these shitty scores saved, because I'm doing unbelievably shite here. So anyway, let's have start up another game then and get the review underway. The presentation wouldn't be too bad if, you know, I actually had a version where everything that's supposed to be on screen actually was on screen. The music is fucking laughably horrendous. It is some of the worst Amiga music I have ever heard. Not because the actual audio quality is terrible. It's, you know, pretty good. I don't know if it's a sample of electric guitar, but it certainly sounds a lot better than some electric guitar samples I've heard on the Amiga. It's just that the actual piece of music is fucking shit. It is horrific. The rest of the audio is very fucking bland. I mean, we are talking staggeringly basic sound effects. I just, yeah, I'm not impressed by the audio in game at all. Oh, fucking hell. I thought for some reason I'd finished the level. Well, there you go. So, in terms of graphics, I really don't see anything here that makes me think, yes, this game definitely needed to be an AGA title. The game is, you know, basically just a Defender knockoff. It's not like, you know, there's anything revolutionary here at all, and yeah, that's in terms of gameplay, but it's the same in terms of graphics. There's nothing here that makes me think, yeah, that's really showing off what the AGA chipset can do. You know, some know, nice fading in and out is not what I call, you know, impressive visuals. Yes, the graphics, you know, on like your ship and on the backgrounds and the aliens and everything else, they do actually use AGA, but only because they use, you know, more than the, I think was it 256 colours the Amiga, or the regular Amiga could do. So with the AGA, actually no, I tell you, I think 256 colours is the AGA Amiga's abilities. But you know, they're done very, very subtly, and okay, a lot of the time subtlety is good, but not when you are claiming that this game is or should be AGA only. It doesn't back it up. So I don't know, it's almost as if there was some sort of agreement to say, right, we'll use this title to try and get people to trade in their Amiga 500s for 1200s. I mean, okay, yeah, I was one of those people who traded in my Amiga 500 for a 1200. Actually, I tell you, I didn't. I think for about a year I had both. I had the 1200 and the 500. Then I sold the 500 eventually. But yeah, there were plenty of Amiga 1200 titles that got people, you know, quite keen to make the switch from the 500 to the 1200. But this was not one of them. It's not a bad game, but it's not going to, you know, make you think, yep, the 1200's old, or the 500's old hat, gotta have a 500 now. Not for a game like this. So yes, graphically, it's not awful, but there is nothing, you know, revolutionary, nothing AGA. I mean, alright, this is AGA, and the fading in and out is AGA, but do you really want a game to be an AGA exclusive just so you can see that? No. And then the gameplay, well, I've already said it. It's a knockoff of Defender. It's not a bad game, but you know, come on, we want something a bit more original, especially by 1993. Yes, I am old school. Yes, I do like Defender, which hence why I really like Star Ray. You know, a really good Defender clone. With all the hype and everything that was surrounding this game, everybody was expecting it to be a bit more than it actually turned out to be. I mean, I'm not saying the game is shit, not at all. It's not a bad game to play, but there's nothing here that you haven't seen a million times before, and more often than not, you've seen it done better. The most ridiculous thing is that after this, Psygnosis came along. Actually, was it after this or was it just before it? Anyway, Psygnosis came along with their own, like, Defender knockoff. I can't remember what it's called now. I know it starts with an A. Something like Armageddon or something. I can't remember. So it was almost as if, you know, the Defender knockoff was going through, like, a bit of a renaissance. Well, if you say so, you know. Alright, hurry up and blow up that last crystal. Fuck it. That power-up disappeared before I could grab it, and now another load of fucking aliens have arrived. So what do I rate it then? Well, like I say, despite, you know, not sounding all that enthusiastic, it's not a bad game at all, and it's certainly not shit. But there isn't enough here to justify all of the hype that's surrounding this game, and you know, there's nothing particularly new. So, I mean, I'll score the game 7 out of 10. It's playable enough, providing you don't play it like a cunt like I did just then. Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly playable enough. It's you know, it's a reasonable game. So you know, I know I'm sounding like, you know, I'm just giving it a fucking, you know, what for, and almost fucking bashing it to death. But you know, I've played far worse games. You know, this is not a bad game. You know, it's not shit or anything like that. It has a lot of things about it that annoy me more than anything. There's nothing here to make, you know, people seriously think, yes, this is definitely deserving of being an AGA only title. It isn't. So I think I'm on my last life. No, I'm not. I've got 2 lives. Oh well. The rate I've been playing this fucking game, those 2 lives are not going to fucking last long. So another power up grabbed. Certainly blasting through the waves now. Oh, fuck it. I had to fucking open my mouth then, didn't I? Oh, you fucker! You fucking fired at me from practically point blank range. I was doing alright until then. So there we go, last fucking life. I do not rate my chances here. Oh, where'd that bloke come from? Right, so there's only 2 left, and then I've got all these big cunts that come along with. There we go, right. And flew straight into the cunt. So, well, there you go. So, that is game over. And that is Overkill then. So, yeah. Despite, you know, my rather negative sounding review, it's not a shit game. It's, you know, it's not even a bad game. It is a fairly good game. But it doesn't live up to all of the hype that surrounded it, and there is certainly nothing here that makes me think, yes, this definitely should have been the AGA exclusive that it was. An Amiga 500 could have easily run this game, and it probably would have been a better seller if they had done so, you know, if they had actually brought out an Amiga 500 version. But in their infinite wisdom, they decided not to. Smart move. So 7 out of 10 for that. That is Overkill then for the Amiga or AGA Amiga. That brings this review to an end, and we'll see you at the next one.